Like I said in my first video, the college football playoffs is biased, or the committee is biased, and it never gets old. And of course, they have to have not only one SEC team, but they have to have two SEC teams in the college football playoffs. Ohio State, did they get robbed? No, they didn't, because last year Penn State got robbed, and of course Alabama won their conference championship and Ohio State didn't. So I have to give it to the college football committee, because they finally got it right, of course, because you know how it is. The SEC once again is in the college football playoffs, and the Feinbaum is, of course, the Feinbaum show, and the callers are terrible. And it's just like, oh, I'm a Kentucky fan, but I also like Georgia, I also like Alabama. That's how sad it really is in the SEC. It's just terrible. It's so funny. But Oklahoma versus Georgia, this one's going to be interesting, because I don't really know how this one's going to go, because I just don't really know how it will go, because Georgia dismantled Auburn, but Auburn dismantled Georgia, and it's just kind of a confusing, weird preview matchup. Oklahoma is really good on offense, but I don't know if they're really good on defense. Georgia is decent on defense, but they're also good with offense, especially towards the running game with Nick Chubb and Sony Michael. It's going to be a brawl. It could be a high-scoring game. Let's see how it goes. Man, it's going to be I hate the long wait. It's New Year's Eve, I believe, or New Year's Day, something like that. It's going to be at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, 5 p.m. Central Time. So it's going to be a crazy game. I wonder how this one's going to be, because it's just so weird. Yeah, it really is weird. But anyways, let's go through the stats for this year's for both teams. We're going to do team stats. We're going to do individual player stats as well, but we're going to go through players' individual stats for both teams and compare them and see how well each one does. So, Jake Fromm has done really well. He's done better than Jacob Eason from last year, and he's done a really great job as a freshman quarterback. He's he was one of the best quarterbacks in the state of Georgia. Jacob Eason, I think, had an injury in the first game or second game, something like that, and then Jake Fromm just took over from the whole season and hasn't let down Georgia until the Auburn game. So Jake Fromm, completions is 145 completions to 230 attempts, 2,173 passing yards, with 63.0 completions percentage. Not bad for a freshman quarterback. Also, yards per average, 9.45 yards average, which is really good for a freshman quarterback, especially in the SEC. Has 21 touchdowns, 5 interceptions overall, with 168.2 of the QBR rating, which is really good for especially in the SEC. But the SEC East really didn't do so well this year with Tennessee, Florida, Vanderbilt. Kentucky, so-so. South Carolina did decent this year, but they also lost to Georgia. So we'll go to Oklahoma, and we have Baker Mayfield with completions to 262 with 369 attempts with 4,340 passing yards with 71.0 completions to percentage, which is incredible, with 11.76 yards average, which is crazy, and 41 touchdowns. That is just insane. 41 touchdowns to 5 interceptions with 203.8 QBR rating, which is incredible. It's also crazy because Baker Mayfield is a senior and Jake Fromm is a freshman, but I feel like Baker Mayfield will win out this one. So it's 1-0, obviously, with 400 or 4,000 plus passing yards and 41 touchdowns as well. I mean, this man literally had 598 passing yards and 6 touchdowns in one game, which is incredible and just crazy stat also. So they're a high up-tempo team. Baker Mayfield also been in college football playoffs before, because as you guys know, they lost to Clemson. So it's going to be a crazy, maybe high-scoring, who knows, how Baker Mayfield will do well against SEC teams or at Georgia. So we go to rushing. We have for Oklahoma's rushing, we have Rodney Anderson, who leads in the rushing for Oklahoma with 162 carries with 960 yards, 5.9 yards average, and 11 touchdowns. Of course, we all know for Georgia, we have Nick Chubb with 191 carries, 1,179 rushing yards, 6.2 yards average, and 13 touchdowns. He leads against Anderson for Oklahoma. For receiving yards, we have Javon Wims, who's the top leader for Georgia. He has 38 receptions, 631 receiving yards, 16.6 yards average, and 6 touchdowns. Now, we go to Oklahoma receiving. We have Marquise Brown. He has 49 receptions, 981 receiving yards, 20.0 yards average, which is crazy. Has 6 touchdowns overall. So, in receiving and passing, Oklahoma leads 2-0 in the top 3 leaders for passing, for rushing, for receiving. Now, we go to overall team stats. For Oklahoma, we have passing yards. We have 367.4 overall, which is 3rd in the nation for passing yards. Rushing yards, we have 215.9, which is 27th in the nation for rushing yards. Points for on offense, they have 44.9 points a game, which is 4th in the nation. And against is 25.0, which is 52 or 52nd in the nation overall. So pretty good. Passing, of course, Oklahoma wins this, so it's 3-1 against Georgia, which is 170.11 or 1, which is 111th in the nation, which really isn't that good. For rushing yards, of course, they win in this one, so it's 3-2 Oklahoma, which is 263.5, which is 11th in the nation overall. So it's 3-2 Oklahoma. On offense, once again, Oklahoma wins, so it's 4-2. With Georgia has 34.9 points on offense per game, which is 23rd in the nation. Points against, Georgia wins in this one with 13.2 points against and 4th in the nation, so it's 4-3. Oklahoma wins it in the points overall system. But I honestly don't know how this game's going to go. Baker Mayfield, I don't think I've seen Baker Mayfield play against an SEC team, so I'm going to see how that's going to go and see how well he does under pressure. I mean, this quarterback is crazy. Baker Mayfield is like Johnny Manziel, as of off the field and on the field, craziness, antics, of course. But let's see how it's going to go. Will it be Georgia wins this one, or will Oklahoma wins this? Will it be Georgia versus Alabama in the college football playoffs championship, or will it be Oklahoma versus Clemson, or Oklahoma versus Alabama, or Georgia versus Clemson? Who knows? It's going to be a crazy, wild weekend, and it's going to be fun. Sadly, though, we have to watch 2 SEC teams play in the college football playoffs. Hopefully, Oklahoma will win. And yes, I am a hater of the SEC because I'm tired of watching ESPN, the college football committee, and everyone else always for the SEC. And of course, the Fine Mom Show is going to be terrible with all their fans who are like Georgia fans, who are like Vanderbilt fans, but they're also Kentucky fans, they're also Tennessee fans, but they're also pulled for Alabama, which absolutely makes 0 sense. It's literally like that. Also, I have some friends as well who are Alabama fans in football, but they're also Duke fans in basketball, which is crazy. So I have to hear about this every single day for until January or December 31st. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Guys, thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day, and I'll let you watch the rest, probably a little bit of the video, as you guys see in the NCAA 14 with the updated rosters. So yeah, guys, y'all have a great day. We got a long wait to the college football playoffs, guys. 42 Sports here, and peace.